manufacturer of Agility. Thank you, sir. And he's an entrepreneur and political analyst. Thank you, sir, for today.
Thank you very much, Buchi. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, you're welcome. Everyday crime. How have we gone that kidnapping has become everyday crime? Shooting of innocent citizens have become everyday crime. Is it worrisome? If this is considered everyday crime, yes, we may say Anambra State is relatively peaceful if we consider it with another state. But when did we get to this very level, degenerate to this very level that something like kidnapping, murder in a hotel, and rest of them is now considered everyday crime? Mr. Obiungo.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can I don't know whether I can be permitted to tackle this issue ideologically.
You're free.
Okay. I want to follow this issue of insecurity ideologically because I think my brother already have given the introduction. You understand? But I now want to go to another dimension of insecurity. Now, when you talk of insecurity, first of all, the first insecurity that we have as humans is food insecurity. Food. By food, when an Igbo man tells you food doesn't just mean the food that you eat. Nni, nni surpasses just the normal food that you eat. You understand? Nni uh, represents physiological needs. That's the reason why the Igbo man will tell you, "Ona-achụ nni." Ona-achụ nni means, the money to buy food, to pay rent, to pay children's school fees, buy clothes, and the rest. That is egonni. So egonni means physiological needs. Now, so what I mean is that the first form of insecurity is the scarcity of physiological needs. That's the first cause of
What do you mean by this?
the scarcity of physiological needs are the scarcity of food, shelter, clothing, the basic necessities of man. Once there is that scarcity, you understand, that is the foundation of insecurity. Now, they tell you that the modern economists will tell you that human needs are insatiable. You understand? But when you look at needs from the hierarchy of needs, like if you want to look at it at the prism of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you see that base, which is physiological needs, should be sufficient in every society. Now, when you now pass that need, then you now move to other needs. That's what they mean by the need are insatiable. But that doesn't mean that the physiological need should not be sufficient. It should be sufficient in every society. And in any society that is not sufficient, that is where insecurity comes in. Insecurity comes in. The kind of insecurity that comes in, here in Anambra State. We are talking about levels of insecurity. You understand? The level of insecurity that we have here in Anambra and in Nigeria is the one caused by lack of physiological needs. And what causes this lack of physiological needs? It's imbalance of trade. For you to provide the physiological needs, you have to start creating value. According to Adam Smith in his book Inquiry into the Wealth of Nations, he said, "For man cannot provide for everything that he needs. Therefore, he exchanges the excess of the labor of which he provides to obtain or to get the labor of others which he cannot produce by himself. And by doing that, the society becomes a commercial society. That is a balance of trade. Now, when you do not have that kind of thing, then you now have scarcity. Because once there is balance of trade, there is sufficiency in these kind of things. Now, because we do not have these things, there is no productivity. Because there is no productivity, the youths especially, who are at the prime of their age, whose energy are needed for productivity, are not put in the right place. Consequently, what happens? You have restiveness, it is diverted to crime. I don't know whether you're getting me. It's diverted to crime. So these are the causes of this insecurity. So before we start even talking about the police and the rest, let us even look at the root of what are those things that make these youths to keep on going towards crime. You understand? So these are the issues we are going to tackle. Now, if a society do not collectively build enabling environment for value creation, that society is collectively a contributor to insecurity. Contributor to insecurity. Let me just dissect it. Like you are a trader in relief market, and you always promote foreign imported goods as against locally produced goods. You suppress locally produced goods and then promote foreign produce. You're a contributor to insecurity. If as a banker you are giving intervention funds to give SMEs and you convert them, to give it to commercial people that are importers so that you make more profit. Yeah, you are a contributor to insecurity, because you are a community leader, that you should bring the resources available to start creating value in your community, and you are not doing it. Rather, you are rather trying to sell land or do some corrupt practices in order to just benefit your own pocket. You are a contributor to insecurity. You are a civil servant, and you are suffocating SMEs that are put in your responsibility. You are a regulatory agency suffocating SMEs. You are a contributor to insecurity. Even
Okay.
religious leaders
Okay.
that are preaching, even religious leaders that are preaching, that are trying to preach and tell people that their solution is maybe somewhere else, in someone in heaven, rather than encouraging critical thinking, rather than encouraging independent thinking. You are a contributor to insecurity. So all these things now are contributors of insecurity. And when we start looking at these issues ideologically, it will help us a lot in tackling insecurity. There is one thing Henry Ford talked about in his work. He said that good businesses should make profit. You understand? Uh, Good businesses should make profit, but the profit shouldn't be the base of establishing a business. It should be good service. That the profit must be a result of good service. Now, a situation whereby you focus only on profit and not on good service, these are the things that brings about insecurity. Now, if you are looking at your society and you are not giving a good service to contribute to the um, economic co-prosperity of your society, rather you are just rather concentrated more on what is going to enter your pocket, that is contributor that is a contributor to insecurity. So
Okay.
when you look at our different characters and our different actions and inactions, you see how we contribute to insecurity, knowingly or unknowingly.
Okay.
Now we have to look at all these things now before we now start talking about what my brother talked about here, the policing and the rest. Let us build our foundations first,
Build our
ideologically.
foundation first. Thank you, Mr. Bill.